I am so excited to share today's conversation with Colette Courtion, who in the course of a day talks about vaginal laxity, mitochondria, incontinence, and sexual pleasure. So for me, that sounds like a great day.
Not only that, we are going to speak to her at length about this device that actually acts as a dilator, a vibrator, and red light therapy provider to increase collagen.
One of the things that has been so illuminating about having these conversations is just how many people are invested and engaged in the conversation, specifically around menopause. Have you seen a difference in your office in terms of the questions that patients ask, their interest level, their knowledge, their lack of knowledge?
1000%. In fact, I wish I could increase the time I have for each office visit by about 3 hours because we have so much to talk about. But I think what we're really going to learn is there is so much room in the sandbox for lots of playing because there are many, many menopausal women and many new solutions coming down the pike.
And one of the themes we hear from Colette and from so many people we have the pleasure of speaking with on the podcast is this idea that a rising tide raises all boats. And it is true. It raises all boats in terms of access to capital. It raises all boats in terms of distribution. It raises all boats in terms of catalyzing conversations and driving growth of companies.
Welcome to the Business of the V. Hello, friends and colleagues. I'm Dr. Alyssa Dweck.
And I'm Rachel Braun-Scherl. Each week, we bring you the most fascinating investors, inventors, entrepreneurs, academics, and healthcare practitioners who are making things happen in women's sexual and reproductive health.
If you are a woman, know a woman, have a business, or care about your V health and wellness, fasten your seatbelts and listen in to another informative and inspiring episode.
We are so excited to welcome today's guest, Colette Courtion, who's the CEO and founder of Joylux, which is a device company that has taken a fascinating approach to dealing with some of the challenges that women experience over the course of their lives. Welcome, Colette. We're thrilled to have you.
Oh, thank you. I'm so delighted to be here and talk about something that's so near and dear to my heart.
Full disclosure, I met Colette many years ago, and she is featured in my book. So I've been an admirer and professional colleague of Colette's for a long time, and I'm just thrilled to give you the opportunity to share your story. So jump right in. Tell us the origin story of Joylux. What was the aha moment, of which I know there were many, that led to the creation of this company and this set of solutions?
Okay. So my background's in medical aesthetics, and I spent nearly 17 years working with advanced technologies to basically tighten the skin to help women look young. And when I became pregnant with my son, my girlfriend sat me down. They said, okay, Colette, be prepared because every time you sneeze or jump up and down, you're going to pee your pants. And I was mortified to learn about this. I had no idea that stress urinary incontinence is such a prevalent problem for so many women. And so I looked into it and discovered there weren't a lot of great options available. And this is where I literally had that aha moment where I said, wait a minute, why aren't we taking these same technologies, these energy-based technologies that tighten this skin, but tighten down there? And so long story short, many, many years of development and regulatory hurdles, we developed what has become the first home use device that uses, in our case, we use red light therapy, but that's an energy-based technology. And we use it to rebuild collagen and elastin in the tissue to tighten the vagina. And so you have better bladder function and better blood flow and all these wonderful benefits.
I am fascinated by this because in my practice, I see not only the postpartum women who are having these issues, or women who come to the table genetically with weakened pelvic floor tissue, because that is a big risk factor, or the menopause population suffering with stress incontinence, overactive bladder symptoms, and vaginal dryness. And I am no stranger to the world of some sort of energy therapy to the vagina. Tell us how your red light therapy is different from all of the other radio frequency or CO2 laser therapies out there, which have come across some controversy over time.
The primary difference is that the energy source we're using, light, is a very natural process. And rather than cause damage to the tissue, which is what the CO2 lasers are doing, or thermal damage in the sense of radio frequency, what we're doing is really telling your body to basically up-regulate its cellular function. So we're helping you naturally do what you're supposed to do. So as women age, we lose the production of collagen and elastin in our tissue. And so what our light therapy is doing is activating the mitochondria in our cells and telling them, hey guys, it's time to produce that collagen and elastin and increase that blood flow naturally. So we're actually, the real simple terminology I like to share with my girlfriends is, imagine your vagina is a battery and it's dead. We're using light energy to just give it that extra charge to get it going again.
Are there studies to show head-to-head efficacy with the red light therapy, which I know is super comfortable and it gives a nice warm sensation as well, compared to the other forms of therapy?
Yeah, that's actually something we're really proud of. We've now done 6 clinical studies on our technology, and we've looked at both objective and subjective measurements. So quality of life, as well as pad weight test, which is the gold standard, as you know, when you look at incontinence. But we also did vaginal biopsies where we can actually, we took a sample of the tissue and we could show what we are doing is what we thought we were doing, which is always a good thing. But we could show the thickening of the vaginal epithelium. We could show the increase in cellularity. We could show the production of more glycogen. So all these wonderful things that are all important and part of improving the health of the vaginal tissue. But this is part that I like the best. Clinically speaking, when you go head to head with a CO2 laser or a radio frequency, the clinical endpoints are the same. So we all get to the same endpoint. The way we get there, though, because it's a home use device, you have to have more treatments because you're treating at home. So the energy is much lower for safety reasons at home than in a doctor's office. But we all get to the same clinical outcome where 90% plus of women will see an improvement in their bladder function or in their vaginal atrophy, dryness issues that they're suffering from.
Wonderful. Thank you.
One of the things that has made me so excited when you stepped into this space is you were one of the first people that I ever heard that connected various stages of a woman's life and talking about how the challenges that she had might have different causes, but potentially there was a solution that could work for her postpartum as well as when she was entering menopause. But my truly favorite thing is historically in incontinence, we've talked about how many pads, how many leaks, you know, how many times you have to run to the bathroom mapping. And you finally connected the improvement in your elasticity and your collagen to improve sexual function, which in my mind is like a cataclysmic change in the conversation in this category. Describe what that means and why that is so important.
Yeah, it's really important because for so long we've been talking about bladder function or sexual dysfunction as a form of a muscular issue. And what we did is we said, no, it's much more than just the pelvic floor muscles, it's the tissue. And what we were seeing as we were studying women is as they were going through, you know, perimenopause and menopause and their tissue was thinning, it was having a negative impact on sexual function. There was more friction, there was more laxity, which was causing less pleasure, less sensation. So what we were able to show is by increasing the thickness of that epithelium, creating more collagen elastin, that women were actually getting more pleasure, sensation, natural lubrication out of intercourse. So at the end of the day, our original goal was incontinence. Now we, are doing, 2 for 1. You're getting this incredible sexual function benefit. And so women are reporting back, even if they may not have had the problem or knew they had the problem, they're like, wow, sex has gotten so much better for me.
Well, it's almost counterintuitive because women in menopause or postpartum will complain of laxity, meaning a loosening of the tissue. Partners often will say things feel a little looser to them, but by the same token, they're complaining of dryness, discomfort. And part of that is due to less estrogen, whether it's a postpartum situation or a menopause situation. What I find fascinating is that the device, the vFit device, which I recommend in my office frequently, and my patients love it, by the way, they get triple benefit. They get a dilator, they get a vibrator, and then they get this red light therapy, which is helpful for collagen. So kudos to you for
thank
the
you.
trifecta.
And blood flow, like the light generates a significant amount of heat, and it's heat at 42 degrees Celsius, which, as you know, is this magic number for increasing or the tightening of the collagen and increasing blood flow, which is important for lubrication, especially as we lose estrogen.
Plus the vibration portion, that also works to enhance blood flow.
Exactly. And we downplay the vibration because we don't want to be thought of as just a very expensive vibrator, because we're so much more. But the vibration actually, medically speaking, as you know, plays a very important part in just overall vaginal health, whether it's increasing the production of fibroblasts, and it's really a part of the entire equation.
So we are now in a world which is way different than the one that you created this business in several years ago. We are now, as we say, women's health is an overnight sensation that's been centuries in the making. So now we're talking about these things in much greater volume and many more conversations about whether it's women's health or menstruation or incontinence or sexual function. What for you have you seen as the biggest change at the helm of this company from the time you founded it to the world that we're in today, and in our mind, propelled in a positive way by the increased discussion around sexuality and wellness that really exploded during COVID?
Oh my gosh, there's so many benefits that have come out of the last couple of years. And I hate to say, COVID's been a tragedy for so many, but for the self-care, self-love movement, it's been fabulous because women are embracing their sexual health, their intimate health. And so the whole category as a whole has exploded. At the same time, there's more and more entrepreneurs that have gotten into the space of women's health. And because of that, that saying, rising tide, what's
the rising tide raises all boats.
That's it. Because of that, we're seeing more and more people talking about it, whether it's the media talking about it or social platforms talking about it. And so the whole category of women's health is evolving and getting much more important and top of mind. And so I'm thrilled to see that. Unfortunately, as an early pioneer, I had to go through the first couple of years where it was like, knock, 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 hello, would someone listen to me, please? But now we're at a place where so many people are embracing this category.
Yeah, I'm curious, with the peaks and valleys that you've been through, did the FDA give you a ton of trouble for your vFit device, especially since there are now a couple of different models?
Oh yeah, let me tell you, the story of the FDA brings tears to my eyes. It's not been easy. Thankfully, we got to a place where after several years of working with the FDA, they designated us a low-risk general health and wellness device. And we're working on getting expanded claims for GSM.
For edification, GSM stands for genitourinary syndrome of menopause, which is a big fat mouthful for the old verbiage, which was vulvovaginal atrophy. Basically, GSM just encompasses many, many more symptoms that the menopausal population will experience as a result of diminished estrogen. So thank you.
So what we're trying to do, working with the FDA, is get further claims around GSM, which would be, again, first of its kind, because there's no device out there that has specifically gone after that, bucket GSM. They've either been incontinence only or, dryness only, but we're trying to go after GSM, which has dryness, incontinence, sexual dysfunction.
I'm also so interested because after perusing the website, I see that you've truly expanded into so many other fields, whether it's supplements or menopausal symptoms or whatnot. Can you talk a little about that journey?
Yeah, actually, again, this was all related to COVID. We started off as a company focused on this device treating vaginal health, and we've evolved into really this menopausal platform that's offering an array of products for women for kind of all issues that they face, whether it's hot flashes or night sweats or mood swings. At the core of it, though, and who we are, is we are a medical device or a wellness device company. I mean, we are anchored by vFit, and vSculpt is our same device, but a medical version of it sold outside the United States. And so at the end of the day, that's who we're core. But we had built this trust and this relationship with our customers who were saying, oh my gosh, you're helping me there. Thank you so much. How do I deal with this or this? And so that's when we started to look at best of class products to offer our customers. And along those lines, during COVID, we introduced a membership program where women every month get a curated collection of these menopause inspired products. And that has far exceeded our expectations.
So here's today's hot flash. 6,000 women a day enter menopause. By the year 2025, 1.1 billion women will be in menopause. Women had plenty of time to think about their menopausal symptoms during COVID and quarantine.
Exactly.
So the good news is that we're talking about menopause. There are many more options. I won't call it bad news, but now you're in an arena with quite a number of competitors for some of the broader products that you're talking about, not necessarily for the device, but for the other products that you offer that you've designed to help women with other symptoms of menopause. If you were to describe what differentiates some of your products from some of the others, we're still, so many consumers and so many patients of Alyssa's are now just talking about menopause for the first time. So they might not know the nuances between one or the other. What should they know about either how your products are formulated or what they do that might be unique or particularly beneficial to dealing with some of their symptoms?
Great question, Rachel. So first of all of our products are designed by our OBGYN. They're all pH balanced if they touch the intimate tissue, which we know is really important. They all are clean products. They're really our best of class products, but truly at the end of the day, those are products that we offer really to our core customer, who is the device customer. And we keep evolving and innovating with the device. So just last month, we introduced an app that not only controls the device, vFit, but it also tracks their menopausal symptoms, their daily health symptoms, helps with wellness reports, set goals for them. So the idea is that this device becomes a core part of their overall menopausal health journey. The idea, though, with time is that we'll introduce them to best-of-class products through partnerships or through other companies. But the core of who we are is our device.
Do you have like a doctor ambassador program or a healthcare provider ambassador program? Because I find that a lot of doctors seem to be really promoting the product, and a lot of patients coming in telling me that they are wondering if I have that type of program going on.
The origins of our company was starting with the professionals. So we wanted to make sure that the physician loved, endorsed, recommended our product. So before we even started to scale online, we went door to door knocking on either OBGYNs, urologists, or women's health experts. And so today I'm proud to say over 1,000 women's health experts, professionals medical professionals recommend our products, and we're sold through, I think it's now 500 doctor's offices. We still have a long ways to go, but at the end, they're the core. What we're moving to and what we're evolving to is more of the, ambassador program, because you get it as a busy physician, you've got such, little time with your patient. You really need to focus on, their core issues. So what we're working on is an ambassador program for physicians just to recommend and not actually resell the product.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. There's always two sides to this coin in the doctor's office. I actually answer to a higher corporate authority in my office. I cannot sell product,
Right.
but I think it really helps patients who feel embarrassed, ashamed, ignorant, or just curious, that they can walk out with a discrete product in their hand from the doctor's office that has been recommended by that provider. But on the other hand, no patient wants to feel like they're having something pushed on them. So I think you've done it right, and I admire that.
It's important to us to attend all the critical medical conferences where the topic of vaginal health, women's health is front and center. We love getting physicians on podium who have done either clinical studies on our product themselves and can speak to it peer to peer. That's really important to us. Again, at the end of the day, we want to facilitate that interaction with physicians because it's so important. And as you know, each woman is unique. So if she could talk to her doctor and vFit is part of the conversation, that is very important to us.
So where are you right now, Colette, from a business perspective? You've raised a couple of rounds. You obviously talked about this success in penetrating the doctor's office. You have a direct-to-consumer business. You have an ex-US business. How would you describe where you are now and what's coming down the pike in terms of new products or big plans that you're at liberty to share?
Yeah, well, we have been at this now for several years. So we are, as we mentioned, the early pioneers. What's really gets me excited is the whole digital side of the business, because what we are doing with the app is we're a better understanding who our consumer is, what issues she faces, what interests she has. So at the end of the day, we can deliver products and recommendations or solutions that are personalized to each woman. So a lot of our investment today is going around, how do we take this platform, this digital platform now that we have it, and recommend and introduce solutions that are unique to her based on where she is in her menopausal journey, whether it's perimenopausal or postmenopausal. And then in the future, it's all about scale and growth. We want to, I think we've hit this point, and again, COVID was a big catalyst for this whole, self-care, self-love movement. We're now at this pivotal moment where, sales are going like this, we're growing like this. And so, I look forward to the day where every woman has a vFit.
So during the whole pandemic, when my surgeries were thwarted and I wasn't going in the office every day, I, of course, was perusing the internet as always, and happened to notice some of the experts that you have on your advisory board or panel or whatnot. Came across a wonderful, gynecologic surgeon and ended up taking a course with him on a particular type of vaginal surgery. Yes. I think, Dr. Allensrod from LA, and it was amazing. I mean, I can't say that I would have necessarily had time for that in the past, but I was thrilled to be able to learn from someone who I couldn't necessarily go and, shadow or take a course from. So the fact that you offer some of these things, or at least offer up information on these experts, I also think is helpful for healthcare practitioners.
One of the important things in our platform, the digital platform for consumers, is that we really have made a big investment in education. So we've taken subject matter experts, whether it's urology or OBGYN or even nutrition, anything that really impacts a woman as she's going through menopause. Is, again, as you know, it's all facets of her life. It's not just her vaginal health. So we've partnered with these really best of class doctors and provide this education, whether it's video content or written quick, little snippets of reading material that just helps them become more informed about their body. So that's an important part of our platform, is continuing to help educate women on what the solutions are out there, what her body is going through.
One of the things I love about what Alyssa said and what you said about education is what has happened in the space. And one of the reasons for me, it's been so exciting to be in this space for as long as everybody on the phone has, is that companies are stepping up and providing education and catalyzing conversations that unfortunately haven't been had, either because parents aren't comfortable, or it's not consistent with their cultural or religious beliefs, that we have what I would consider a crisis in sex education in America. But this is the first time I've heard a platform teaching a doctor. So that, kudos to you, because I think that's really exciting. Colette, we've had many conversations about how important it is to have a language around discussing menopause or discussing symptoms or discussing what's bothering you. And, then to get a gold star from one of my favorite and most brilliant physician friends, learning from one of your brilliant physicians is really speaks, I think, it really speaks to the dynamic and the energy in the space.
I just want to say real quickly on that, because I'm a huge believer that we have to work together to further the cause of women's health. And so if I can help connect people, whether it's physicians or consumers, or when we look at the landscape of brands that are in this space, I don't see them as competition. I see it as, hey, we all serve a particular need, and our focuses are all slightly different. And, there are 54 million women in the US in menopause and growing every day. So there's plenty of room for all of us to play. And so I'm really a proponent of just any company that's in women's health, because again, as I said earlier, it, rising tide
raises all boats.
We always go back to that.
Yeah, but it really is so interesting, because I've worked in a lot of spaces before I focus specifically in sexual and reproductive health. And to a person that we speak to the people that I've had the pleasure of working with, everybody everybody has the same sentiment. If we win, we all win. And
Exactly.
And I don't think it's Pollyanna-ish. I really believe, based on what I've seen and experienced myself, that it is true, that there is a feeling of a bigger purpose that is going to take, all of us, not just a few, to make this happen. And that's the enthusiasm I always see when I'm speaking to you, and when I hear Alyssa talking about new technology she discovered, or when I meet a new entrepreneur. It's this feeling that you're a part of something important and complicated, and that every person is able to make some sort of contribution.
Well, Rachel, I always laugh. I'm pretty sure ACOG put out this particular statistic that 6,000 women a day are entering menopause. There is enough to go around for lots of players in the space, so I couldn't agree more. Colette, what is coming down the pike for you and your wonderful Joylux company?
Well, we're working on a product that I can't say too much about, but it's taking our core technology, but putting it in a slightly different form factor, and really helping broaden from going back to my kind of early postpartum roots. So it's a product that will appeal to new moms based on our core technology. So I'm excited about that. Of course, it's all about the vagina, because I, like Rachel, I am, all about promoting the health of the vagina.
I'm assuming that I won't assume. Are you using artificial intelligence to make sure that those recommendations are right based on personal usage?
Absolutely. So artificial intelligence, data science, that plays a big role in our platform, and how we can, gets me really excited, but how we can start to correlate symptoms and get predictive. So the example I use is, once we get enough data in our, in our pipeline, what we'll be able to do is talk about, from, say, a woman, she's perimenopausal, she comes to us because she's just now experiencing bladder function issues. What we can say is, women like her over the course of of the next 3-4 years are more likely to experience hot flashes. And guess what? This is what they are, and this is why you may have them. And here's a product we recommend, or here's a regimen you should do to help reduce them. Maybe it's, around your diet. So there's all this exciting things that we can do using artificial intelligence. And I that's what gets me like super excited about the future of our company and where we're headed with our mobile app and the digital platform.
Colette, thank you so much for being here today. I know we could all talk for hours. Thrilled that you're in this space, thrilled that you're still fighting the good fight and that you're seeing so much success and momentum. And we can't wait to see what's coming next from you and Joylux, and hope you're continuing to be part of this rising tide effort. So yes. Thanks for all the great work you do.
Thank you, ladies, again for your podcast, and again helping spread the word. It's so important. It takes a village. So, and we're a pretty good village.
Don't forget, subscribe to our podcast at businessofthev.com for the latest trends and trendsetters in women's health and business.